Do leadership differently. This is a research project for my work with my clients. It's about leadership innovation, and it focuses on high performers in a highly intense environment, the kind of leaders who know how to perform at peak performance, take care of their own well-being, but are also strong, creative problem solvers. I coach people who are strong, creative problem solvers in various fields. They work in highly intense environments, and they know how to perform at a peak level. And some of them are missing something, because we can't see our own selves. Different is better than better. Deconstructing the best leaders in various industries can be of tremendous value to anyone who's seeking to be a better leader themselves. In this episode, I really enjoyed interviewing David Yahid, the Director of Business Development and Innovation at Penguin. David grew up between Israel and the US. He started his career in marketing and then shifted into business development and sales, where he remains today working for a marketing agency. His journey began at B&H Photo. From there, he moved to Porsche and Audi for a few years. He later joined FIDF. When he returned to Israel, he was the first non-developer to join Applause, a Boston-based startup, and led their marketing and sales. After being bitten by the entrepreneurial spider, he started his own business called Sparkly, where his first 3 clients were Porsche, Virgin Atlantic, and El Al. Then, for a short while, he joined the cannabis space. And today, he is the Director of Business Development and Innovation at Penguin, a B2B tech marketing company that specializes in working with complex technologies selling to enterprise customers. Enter David Yahid. Enjoy. Let's get started.
Sure.
What are your top 3 business career successes that you are most proud of? This could be the impact you've made or the differences you've made, maybe even the income you've created or the acknowledgements you've received.
So I think the first one is when I was at Porsche, I was working for a dealer that was a pilot dealer for Porsche USA. So that means everything Porsche wanted to try out, they would come to our dealership, hand me a concept, I would do the execution, and then we would decide, is it a success, we're going national with it, or is it a failure, we're cutting it here. The reason is because of the location. We were on the board of New York, New Jersey. We had various demographics, rich, poor, black, white, Mexican, everything like mixed in there. So we had a good sense of America all over.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the initiatives that I actually launched and we ended up going national was we were one of the first brand. I mean, some dealerships had an app. We were one of the first brands to have an app. We developed one for the dealership. It was a success, and then Porsche USA adapted it as a dealership, as an app for them. So that was one, I think, one success story that I could put, that I have. What else? I think the startup that I was working with, as a startup, being able to reach those companies that we're speaking to and the relationships that I built throughout that time there, I would say that was a success in terms of, for me, it was a personal victory because it was kind of, I always stayed away from sales. I never liked doing sales. I never liked being the salesperson, but that kind of forced me into that position. It forced me out of my comfort zone. And I kind of realized that I'm, if I'm not doing sales at the mall where I'm kind of pushing a product, but it's more of like a consultative sales role, kind of understanding what your needs are and helping you guide to the right decision to what product will help you address those needs, which is a different type of selling. And that's kind of what I found out I was pretty good at. So that's another one. And then I think just here at Penguin, I've been here for about 2 years now, and it's kind of interesting to see the growth that's coming to the company. Whether it's I've had some ideas that I think helped that. It's always, of course, working with a spectacular team here who knows what they do, and that's also something that I guess I learned along the way is, you could do everything yourself, but only to a certain extent. Right. But if you really want to get to new heights, you really need a team of specialists to come together, and each one running with their own specialty, and then you can go a lot further.
And now that you're in sales and business development, how does that sit well with you if you didn't like sales?
Well, I think it sits fine with me. because of the type of selling, it's not standing at it's not frontal direct sales where I'm trying to push, I have this product to sell, so let me see who I could, force this onto. It's more of a, people come to me, we have a variety of solutions that we offer, whether it's marketing services, marketing technologies, connections, intros, whatever it is. It's really understanding what the needs are and then helping them as more of a consultant role, saying, what are your needs? What are you trying to achieve? What issues are you having? What's in that way of achieving those goals? And now here's the best solution that I could come up with for your problem.
Great. What is the hardest thing in business or in life that you have overcome? And what did you learn from that experience?
I think one of the things that I guess it's maybe intuitive to some people, but was a little not intuitive for me, is really the work-life balance. I've always seen it as you have to put more time in the office to achieve more and get further ahead. And then I guess we really saw it over the past year and a half since COVID hit, and we're spending a lot more time at home. And despite it, it's like, yes, I'm working maybe a few hours less, but the fact that I get that break and spend time with the family, I come more recharged, so I achieve more within less time, as opposed to achieving less and more time, because you get that break and to recharge a little bit.
And do you see that with your coworkers as well?
Yeah, I think I see some of them, not everyone. Some people still, there's always going to be the workaholics and there's always going to be the slackers, I guess. I don't think we have, I think everyone here is pretty much balanced, but yeah, some people are more always on, and some people have kind of learned to take that, what, this email could wait a couple hours and I'll answer it later on or tomorrow morning or.
Right. What is your biggest gift?
I guess it's probably just that I'm a people person. I guess I've been told this before, that people kind of like me. And so kind of, I'm able to network with people, build relationships, keep those relationships, and then, turn around 2, 3, 10 years later and still ping that relationship and continue a conversation. And I think that's definitely something beneficial. Yeah, I think that's something that I have.
What would you say is the dark side of that gift?
I guess maybe that it makes it a lot easier to, I have to more actively focus on working, and less, more kind of leading the conversation or whatever it is towards what I need to get done, and not just towards general schmoozing and going off track. And yeah, I think it's people are realizing that it's good for business these days to have a relationship that's also a little bit beyond work. You do ask we're having a Zoom conversation, I will ask you about your kids, about your wife, something, where do you go on vacation? But to kind of limit that to, a few minutes, and then still get what you need out of the conversation, and not have the conversation last 3 hours because we spent 2.5 hours talking about other stuff.
Right. Okay. What do you take on that you should leave to others?
I think everything. One of my things is that a lot of times, even in previous roles, I've always been like a solo marketing role in the company. Yeah. So I kind of got used to doing everything, and it's very hard to delegate and trust that, okay, I'm giving someone else the responsibility to do this, task A, B, and C, and just being, relying on them to do it and not having to follow up or check in or annoy them with, I feel like I need to look in on them, but from their end, I realize it's kind of like, okay, I'm doing it, lay off, give me the 2 hours to do this job, and not check in every 5 minutes.
Right. I think a lot of people have experienced the not so fun end of micromanagement.
Right, exactly. So for me, it's exactly. It's hard for me to delegate, and so micromanagement, I guess, comes naturally because I'm having a hard time. I'm not used to delegating, but I think that's also something that I've picked up a little bit with time. Right. I guess it's practice.
What's your breakthrough goal? If you were only allowed to focus on one goal on your list, which goal would be most likely to ensure that every other goal was accomplished anyway, even if you were not allowed to work on that?
That's a good question. I mean, I've actually been back and forth in terms of, very recently in the past couple of months, it's kind of, okay, this is where I am today. What's my next step? Where do I want to go to? What do I want to achieve?
Hmm.
I think what I really do want to focus on and do more of is learning, self-learning. It's what I know about marketing and what I do is a lot of hands-on and learning with experience as we go along. But I'd want to more actively carve aside time to sit down and maybe read some more case studies, read some more, blog posts or interviews or whatever it is, and kind of learn a little bit more from others, and not just kind of search for it on the fly as I need it, and I need to do something now, so let me find the answer now, but kind of just actively kind of be more aware of what's going on.
What's stopping you from doing that now?
Time management. I think it's a time management thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I said, it's now it's figuring out a better work-life balance, but then figuring out another time that you have to dedicate between that time work-life balance is something that's, I think, a little bit of a challenge.
If you could write your number one belief on a billboard at the Super Bowl, so millions of people could read it, what would it say?
I think that just overall helping others pays off. It's I've run into quite a lot of instances where it's I'll send you customers, but I want a 10% commission, or I'll send you this. And I mean, we even had a conversation with someone recently in terms of, let's set up a relationship, and you send us these type of customers, and we'll send you these type, and we'll do a 10% rev share. And from our point of view, personally, but also from the company point of view, it's like, I'm not going to send you a customer just to make those few extra dollars. I'd rather send you a customer so that they have a good experience. You make some money, they make some money, everyone's happy, and I'm the guy that made that intro, and not just doing it for the couple dollars.
Good segue to the next question. What do most people do in business that you do differently? Does that help you thrive or struggle?
I think it helps me thrive, and what I think I do differently is it's just I end up helping people. I go on a tangent and I commit time that maybe sometimes I don't really have, but I still commit time to helping them. And then whether it's, my specialties are marketing, business development, marketing technology, things like that. So we had a friend launching a business. I sat down and helped them build out their entire marketing automation instance. I had another friend that's starting a business. I helped them set up their Google local presence and Google technology and all that. And it's, obviously I wouldn't even know how to ask them for money for that even if I wanted to, but that's not something that I just took the time, spent a couple hours, helped them get up and running. And that's it.
Awesome. That's an amazing way of going about business. What would you like to accomplish that may look impossible right now, but if it were achieved, would change everything?
I don't know. I think we're living in a day where things change so fast that, I know that the startup world is very much built on seeing 5 years ahead and where things are going and what the needs are going to be, and trying to address them in advance. But on the other hand, I feel like I don't know enough where things are going to be in 5 years to say this is what needs to be achieved in order to change everything.
Let me give you a little more background for this question. Right. See, some coaches, they like to play in the realm of possibility, what's possible. There are others who dare to play in the realm of improbable. I like to play the game of impossible.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why the question is worded in such a way. What would you like to accomplish that may look impossible right now, but if it were achieved, would change everything?
I think it's I think it's just succeeding, beyond. Baruch Hashem, I've done not bad where I am now in terms of my career and advancement and everything, but I feel like it's in the average range, but really kind of getting to the top of the field that I'm going after. And again, I'm kind of on the balance between marketing, sales, and business development, where recognized as the best marketer or as the best business development guy or the best sales, that I don't know yet, but kind of reaching that point where I'm successful and have the confidence to know that whatever I jump into will work.
What would be the single most important lesson you've learned on your leadership journey?
Not to be afraid to ask for help. I think that's something that a lot of people, a lot of people kind of struggle with. They kind of feel like if asking for help is a sign of weakness or a sign of, there's other people better than me out there. And I think that loops back to my, what I said at the beginning. It's, you can't know everything. There's someone I know who's kind of gone into business in the startup world, and they started doing design, and then they tried to do something that they couldn't, WordPress website, and they couldn't do exactly. So they decided to go learn development so they could fix that one thing. And they started to go learn, I don't know, they wanted to learn a little bit of law so that they could know what kind of like copyright things they could do. And I came back to them, I said, if you could, either you go for a jack of all trades and master of none, or you really focus on, something that you love doing and do that all the way, and let other people who are better than you at, individual pieces of that, and bring them in as you need them. So I think it's important to kind of know that you can't be an expert in everything. You could be, you could do everything, or you could be an expert in something.
That's an interesting point, and I'll tell you why. Because there are some people on this planet who I wouldn't say think they're experts in many things, but they are more eclectic, and they by personality and probably by character as well, they do jump from one thing to another, and they master it to a degree, at least relative to most people. They do master it. Are they the experts? Not necessarily, but then they bring so much more to the table. Their insights are so much more powerful. And I'm personally one of those people. I've worked with a Hollywood producer who was struggling with this almost her entire life. She told me the story that her uncle always told her that, jack of all trades, master of none. And that never sat well with her, because she always felt like she was really good at a lot of different things, and that's how she showed up. But that was always bugging her, what her uncle, who was a mentor to her, always told her, until she realized that that's not necessarily true. And it's not so common in this world today to accept the jack of all trades. We're looking for the master of one, right? But personally, I don't think that's true at all. I think we need to create a paradigm shift in the world today and actually find the places for these jack of all trades.
Well, I think the jack of all trades could be where you specialize. You specialize in being across the board, but as a jack of all trades, I'd still say, if you're launching a company, you should get a lawyer to do your legal work. Don't try to do it yourself.
Oh yeah,
you understand it better, but still have a professional do your legal work and a professional do your design, and a professional do it. But yeah, I agree with you that the jack of all trades would be more of maybe the CEO function, who brings all these different pieces together and connects them all and makes sure that they all operate and work in harmony. And that I do think is important. So that I think that the jack of all trades could be a specialty in specialize in the broad knowledge as opposed to the depth knowledge.
What's one truth that you've held back that the world needs to hear?
I don't know. That's a good. I honestly don't know. You stumped me.
That's good. It's always good to, you see, one of the things I do, my clients, they come to me with questions. My job isn't to answer the questions. My job is to help them live into bigger ones.
Right. Okay.
This is a big question.
No, overall, I think I'm fairly okay in terms of, I say what I think. I'll put it out there. The times when I do refrain from saying it is if I think that, maybe we have conflicting opinions, but mine won't, not necessarily, like, it might hurt you, but it won't necessarily benefit you to hear it. So what's the point in, bringing it out if it's not going to
So here you're speaking,
achieve anything here?
here you're speaking right now just to me. What
Yeah.
would be one truth like that you've held back? You haven't really told other people, but you know the world needs to hear.
Well, again, it's if I think the world needs to hear it, I'll say it. If I think that it won't really help anyone, then that's when I might refrain from saying it. Maybe it's telling someone that that I'm not a big fan of their cooking or something like that.
But the world doesn't need to hear that.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. If I think that it's something that'll make a difference and the world needs to hear, I tend to kind of say it.
Great. What do you want to be remembered for?
I think I guess it's that's in the question kind of. I want to be remembered for achieving something. What that something is I'm still trying to figure it out myself. I actually personally recently just started working with a mentor myself to kind of help push me towards, pulling back the layers and understanding what exactly that is.
Fantastic. And I totally salute you for that, because a lot of people wouldn't go the extra mile of seeking out the help for that. So that's great. Yeah. What would you want to do if you knew you couldn't fail?
Something big, something impactful. Probably go into a startup that's not just another app or another game, but something that's will help people influence lives, save lives, make people's lives better. I've seen various, medical tech startups that could really improve people's lives, help, do. So maybe go into something like that. Go into a startup that'll actually make people's lives better and something more of substance than just an app that sends messages or something like that.
Where are you making a contribution right now to something bigger than yourself?
I think that I'm working with a number of companies and helping them establish themselves on the marketing front, on the business development front, starting to understand how to they did something interesting, they did something good. How do you get that out to the world? Mm-hmm. So back to the previous question, what I want to do is launch a company that'll do something. So these are companies that are doing that thing right now, but if you cure cancer but nobody hears about it, is it really impactful? So it's kind of helping them get that message out to the various places that need to hear about it.
If you were to look back 3 years from now and say, these have been the best 3 years of my life, what has to have happened for you to feel thrilled with your progress?
I think getting to a place, I was saying that I'm starting to get more work-life balance, but getting to a place where it's there, where kind of I'm comfortable enough at work that I don't have to put pressure on the kids. I know that if we're late in the morning, then I don't have to rush them, but we could take our time and get to work and I'll be fine. That if we need to take some more time, I'm in terms of work, well, Hashem, it's there, in terms of environment and leadership and everything that's definitely supports it. But still there's, on the personal side, the pressure of, keeping up and then staying ahead but getting to a point where I could really, give my kids and my family the time that they deserve also.
So what would be the 3 tiniest shifts that made the biggest difference in those 3 years? So you mentioned 1, the work-life balance. What would be 2 more?
I guess work-life balance. I guess maybe, I don't know if it falls under work-life balance, but more patience to have work with the kids, spend more time with them, doing homework or playing or whatever, but in a way that kind of, education, instillment, family value kind of passing on, not just like the physical going on vacation, but actually passing on more values and helping them grow. Not sure what the third one would be.
Okay, it could be just two. That's
Okay.
totally fine.
Yeah.
So thank you very, very much for your time, David. And
My pleasure. Thank you for finding me and reaching out.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me take you on this deep journey.
My pleasure.